Hi, I'm Steve Jarding with Brian Moran's campaign for governor here in Virginia in 2009. I want to take a couple minutes today and talk about something that a lot of folks are talking about, but I'm not sure they have the entirely accurate perspective as to where we're at with the issue, and that is the issue of money in this primary. My rule in politics normally is you need enough money to win, and maybe not much more, but make sure that you have enough to do that. We believe that Brian does have enough money to win, but there's been talk in this race about others that may dump a lot more money, and that somehow that's going to mean a lot. And don't misunderstand, money indeed can buy a lot. But the perspective I want to give is, when I was working with Jim Webb in his campaign in 2006, we were dramatically outspent as well, something in the order of 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1. It was a big number. We ran a campaign that was highly targeted to a very low turnout pool of voters. It was key to that victory, and when we did the assessment as to where the votes were and who they were, we realized that Jim could win without having the deep pockets and without having the most money. Give you another piece of information. Jim Webb won that primary 58-42 against an opponent that outspent him dramatically. Jim Webb never put an ad on TV that entire primary. Still got 58% of the vote. The point of this is not that any of these candidates, or all of them, may not run paid advertising, but in a low turnout primary, you have to have sophisticated targeting with two other pieces. You have to have the right message, and you have to have the right messenger. We believe that Brian Moran has the right message. He is the candidate who's been fighting for Virginians for 20 years. He's been out to every corner of the state campaigning for House of Delegates candidates, and he's been wildly successful as a caucus chair there. He also is, I believe, the right candidate for where we're at in Virginia in 2009. He has a strong base in Northern Virginia. It is where, as we know, so many voters are today that weren't there just a few years ago. But they know Brian, they trust him, they respect him, and I think more importantly in some ways, it is that same message, that same messenger. We don't have to change Brian in order to move to a general election audience. Some campaigns try to do that. I never like to do that. In the case with Brian Moran, I don't think he'd change if you tried to, because he believes in his heart that Virginia needs a fighter. They need someone who is going to sit out there and say, I'm going to work for you. When you look out and say, who's sitting in the governor's chair, you're going to know you have a friend there that is looking after your interests. That's who Brian is. That's his record. You put those two things together, I believe it gives Democrats their absolute best shot at beating Bob McDonnell this fall. And so we want to look at it and say, please participate, please turn out, please go to the polls. But understand that money isn't everything in this business. That if you run a smart campaign, again, with the right messenger and the right message, and Brian Moran offers both of those, Democrats, we can win in the fall. He gives us our best chance to do that.